they should actually be ashamed of themselves. Like Caitlin Clark should be shaming them and saying, y'all had 25 years to put this together. I've been in there 1 year and I raised the profile and revenue in 1 year. Y'all been here for 25 years and you've been losing money every year. Has to be subsidized by the black players in the NBA. Y'all ain't gonna bring that up? Oh, these women have been successful and they've been building it. No, the NBA has been building the WNBA. If it wasn't for LeBron and them hitting them threes and making all that money, they wouldn't be able to subsidize y'all. No, the investors are the ones who are helping build the WNBA. And the people who own the teams, it's not just the players. I want to go to another story about Caitlin Clark real quick. And the controversy with Caitlin Clark continues. And I unfollowed Caitlin Clark just yesterday. Now, she don't care. She got 3 million people. But I just want it to be known that I'm disappointed that she literally backed away from what she represented to us. She represented a voice of not feeling sorry for yourself because you're white, and a voice of saying, yeah, I can reinvigorate the WNBA because I'm talented, not because I'm a virtue signaling black lesbian that want reparations and all this old crazy stuff and kneeling for the national anthem and I deserve this and I'm entitled. She worked hard and she got to a level of accomplishment, and that's why we liked her. We loved her because she stayed out of it. And now she done got sucked into the circle of foolery where she want to honor black women. But I tell you this, Scott Jennings just literally can't stop winning. Let's go to the Kerry clip where Scott Jennings is in it, then we'll go to Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings can't stop winning. He's literally the conservative VIP of the year because he has to go on CNN every day and just, he's the only one that makes sense. And I tell y'all this every time I play something on my channel, whether it's a news hit or not, I always have to bring up the obvious. Why are the people of the melanin the silliest people on this show? Why? They literally make Scott Jennings out to be a genius. Like the dude is the smartest person on planet Earth. When you watch it, it seems like he's the smartest person on planet Earth when you watch these idiots talk about things that are completely nonsensical, if you ask me. Roll the clip.
But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Dawn Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all who really built this league, and they weren't getting the attention because, let's face it, the league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post about Taylor Swift post about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They
endorsing
unfollow her.
Voting.
Like saying go vote. Yeah. And then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, you know what? I am so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person, that they are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly, saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white, she's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about. She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year? And she makes more money than the people who built this league, and she understands there's a reason.
League?
Not because she shoots the ball well.
Built this league?
Yes, that also helps. But there's another reason, Scott. There's a reason that says I'm white, and it's a privilege, and people love me. And I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Hold on a second. Hold on. For her to be on TV and say smart, truth, and factual, that's crazy to me. Smart, truthful, and factual. I don't know what she facts or something she said, something crazy. But let me interject real quick right here, okay? Where did they get this idea that the black women weren't getting their flowers? Where did they get this idea? I'm assuming that they think that this is unique to the WNBA because why don't the NBA complain about this? Why is the NBA not complaining like this? Why is the NBA not complaining that black people don't get their credit? It's the WNBA that's doing it. No, it's because you guys are not good. It's because you guys are not performing. You guys have been losing money every year. And therefore, you get a white girl in there, and now the stadiums are sold out. Yeah, okay. It's because she's good. It's because she brought some professionalism. It's because she brought a little sexiness to it. All right, let's hear what Scott Jennings had to say. Roll the clip.
A couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say, because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But, the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean, what
did
they build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've had a business model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas. That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
Okay. Scott Jennings just, why he sound like an oracle or something? It sounds like he's lived here before. Like Scott Jennings sound like he's a prophet. Because these people are so silly to me. He said they all touting the black women. Look at what they built. They just built all this great stuff. And I'm just giving them they respect they deserve. He said, what did they build? The league still with Caitlin Clark lost $40 million. They have not turned a profit not one time that the league has been operating in 25 plus years. They have never turned a profit. What are they building? They're building a company. Like, they should actually be ashamed of themselves. Like, Caitlin Clark should be shaming them and saying, y'all had 25 years to put this together. I've been in there 1 year, and I raised the profile and revenue in 1 year. Y'all been here for 25 years, and you've been losing money every year. Has to be subsidized by the black players in the NBA. Y'all ain't gonna bring that up? Oh, these women have been successful and they've been building it. No, the NBA has been building the WNBA. If it wasn't for LeBron and them hitting them threes and making all that money, they wouldn't be able to subsidize y'all. No, the investors are the ones who are helping build the WNBA. And the people who own the teams, it's not just the players, because they trash.
And at the top of the second half, it's 16-9. Easton leads the scoring with 4.
And that's why she commands $7,000 a year. These gals sure do make it look difficult.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide.
Yay!
So, roll the clip.
The reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
Isn't it because of the investors?
No, Scott, stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
Who pays for it?
I was in Dickie's arena. Let me just tell you.
It says more about the people who are getting offended by it than her.
I think they're just disappointed that she appears to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't like the
and here's the disappointment.
It's the white privilege. Let him articulate this, because I want to learn something.
I feel a little bad for her, because she's going to learn that it will never be enough. No matter how much of the phrasing, no matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts.
Why do you assume
they hate her guts?
Why do you assume that she is trying to pander? Isn't it also
because I hear the language? It's the language of the pander.
Scott,
I hear the phrase white privilege. Sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all. She doesn't get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports is the great equalizer, and it just felt like to a lot of people that she was groveling for no reason, because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's basketball.
All right,
God, this guy. Can I donate to Scott Jennings? Like, can I buy him a drink or something? Can I do something for him? The guy is the truth in the midst of stupidity. He hit the nail on the head. Nobody's mad at Caitlin Clark for whatever. It's that we thought that she would be above the fray and make a real difference and put the race stuff aside and say, look, man, I made it here on my own merit. I love the game. I'm changing the game. I got a shoe. I got a brand. Let's move past this stuff. Nobody wants to talk about who did what, when, where, and how. Look, good job for you. You gave me the opportunity to be in a league like this. Okay, now it's time for me to take over. Y'all, let's move on as a unified group of women and not try to make it about race and division. We thought she was that. But then, who's to say? You still follow and watch her play basketball. I'm not really interested in it. I wasn't interested in basketball to start with. I was watching it because I thought she was the great white hope, okay? I thought she was going to change the game. But what does she do? My truth. That's exactly what I heard her say, my truth. I said, oh, she captured. And then you go and listen to the stuff she say, and they go, oh, the black women that did this, I acknowledge my privilege. What? I don't understand how white people still capitulate to black ignorance. And it's not just black ignorance, it's leftist ignorance. White people claim they have white privilege in white majority environments. It's stupid, but I can see the argument, right? How do you get white privilege in black environments? You can't win. The league full of black women, and somehow the one white girl that happened to be good is now experiencing white privilege over all these black women. Who's necessarily issuing white privilege? Come on, let's talk real quick. Who's giving her the white privilege? Who's bestowing white privilege upon her? Oh, white people just started watching the WNBA because of her? So you telling me it was all black people watching it? No, it's not. Where the women at? Why are you criticizing people? Why we criticize women? Women make up half of the population in the United States of America. A lot of shopping and purchasing come from women. Women have purchasing power, and women have a lot of leverage in this country. If women really wanted to support women's sports, they'll go watch your games. They'll go buy the tickets. They'll go buy the suites. Women ain't watching that stuff. Women at the WNBA, at the NBA game. They're not the WNBA game.
Look at the WNBA. Dude, nobody in the WNBA got nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, flashing their going nuts like the guys do in the upper deck with their big beards. Am I on the Jumbotron? Am I doing it? None of you went to the games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. Let's hear it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your city. You can't do it. You don't give a about them. They play night in and night out in front of nobody. It's a tragedy, right? And then meanwhile, you look at the Kardashians, they're making billions. You look at those Real Housewives shows, they're making money hand over fist.
So women don't even consider that to be a sport that's worthy of giving undivided attention to. It's really just men. And if y'all had them running around in thongs, it'd be more men watching it.
The black players, probably not all of them, but I haven't heard one dissent from what's being done to Caitlin, are rising up against this white player solely because of skin color. It is racist bullying to its core. And when she gets profiled by Time magazine, instead of just ignoring race and saying, I'm really grateful, thank you. Or, you know what your other option is, Caitlin, is to say, no thanks. If you really mean it, if what you really want is the spotlight on the black players, then don't say you'll sit for the profile. Sorry, Paul, but this is ridiculous. She wants it both ways. She wants to be the person of the year, the athlete of the year, but she wants us to know she feels really bad about it. She's really sorry she's so white, and she really wants the black player's profile. It's like Cinderella. Like, I don't really want to go out with the prince. Please pay attention to these very unattractive stepsisters. That's really what she's saying. I know you don't want to look at them. You really want to look at me, but I feel bad about all the attention, and just take a minute to look at them because they, after all, did get this castle in the first place that I now am set to rule. No one's buying it. It's insincere. It's condescending. Not to defend these black players who are trying to torture her, but I'm sure not all of them agree with what's being done to her. And some of them are probably offended. She's like, oh, pity the poor black players over here and give them the spotlight for once, as she adorns herself in covers and lengthy feature pieces. The bottom line, there's no one left to root for here.
But the truth of the matter is, can we let this racist stuff go? The girl doesn't have white privilege. Because if it was a black girl that was as good as her with the accolades that she had, nobody be talking about it, be kissing her butt. She'll be a superstar like LeBron James and all these other black players that are superstars in every sport. I can't believe Caitlin Clark went out like that. Oh, yeah, I acknowledge my privilege. No, you don't get the privilege, Caitlin Clark. You actually denied privilege because you did good enough to get your flowers, but they bashing you. And that's the whole subject of conversation because you white. If you wasn't white, nobody be bashing you. You wouldn't even have to be on a podium talking like that. But they don't get it. One day she'll get it. Like Scott Jennings says, it's never enough. It's just never enough. She's going to realize that the more she capitulate, the more they're going to demand of her, and the more they're going to try to suppress her for being a white woman. They're going to want her to not be on billboards. They're going to want her to not have a shoe. They're going to want her to not be to make way for black women in the sport. They're going to do this until she's exhausted. And she's going to give up everything she has for women that don't even care about her. 35% off. Christ must live 35. That's 35% off the entire store. So anything you put in the cart will be 35% off. So go on and order. One thing that I have that's pretty interesting is this picture. So we have pictures, and Nick came up with this idea. If you want one, you ain't got to buy one. It's up to you. So this is a picture of me at AmpFest last year. And I will sign this picture for you and send it to you if you want one, right? I'll sign one or I'll personalize one if you want to get this as a gift for somebody who is in your family that love Officer Tatum. Now, if they don't love me, don't waste your time buying it, right? But if you're somebody that love Officer Tatum and they're a huge fan, I'm pretty sure they would love this a signed picture from me. I don't have a lot of them, and I'm not going to do a lot of them because that's a lot of signing for me. But if you want it personalized, go to the website, get it on there. Also, we got some of our cool merch on there. Y'all already know what it is. Just go to the store, look at some stuff, and make sure you take advantage of the discount. Let's go to the View clip because the View has something to say about this too, and I can't leave the View out because they undefeated in stupidity. Roll the clip.
Also chose WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark as their athlete of the year. But, okay, here's the problem. A lot of conservatives are having a fit over her interview, and here's what they're so mad about. Watch.
Coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of.
Now, some conservatives are accusing her of, quote, bowing to the woke mob, unquote, for acknowledging her privilege. Why does this trigger these people on the right?
I have no idea. Was there more to that clip? Because I'm a conservative and trying to be triggered, and I'm not seeing it.
No, you're not
I'm struggling.
There's nothing to be triggered, and this is not the first time that she has acknowledged the people whose shoulders she has stood upon. I mean, the WNBA is a very young league. It's only 25 years old, and I'm on the board of the WNBA Board of Advocates. It's over 80% black, and because of Caitlin Clark, which I think is who's an incredible athlete who looks like a badass on that cover.
I'm going to wear that dress to the Emmys.
It's a good one. But look at this. Diversity does matter. Representation matters. People now see themselves in Caitlin Clark because white viewers have grown 156% year over year and 301% on ESPN networks. That matters not only for the white players, but for the black players too.
Hold on. I'm going to interpret the disingenuous nature of what they're saying. Caitlin Clark is actually a minority in the league. So there's no such thing as that her bringing white privilege to the league. When they claim that there's 100 and some % of new white listeners, they're not accounting for all the new listeners. The majority of the people that live in this country and abroad are white that are in first world countries that can watch TV anyway. You look at America, it's 60 some % of American people are white. So they're not talking about the totality of increase in viewership. I know you will find it interesting that she said nothing about the viewership of men and women. So what really happens is that she got a lot of more attention, so a lot more people are watching. Just so happened, most people living in this country are white. So the influx in white viewership is going to go up. How many more black people are watching? How many more? Think about this. How many more black people are watching? And this is where they fall in the conundrum, and I'm going to move forward. Now, put this in perspective. If she claims that I want to give the roses to the black women that have built this league, then if the white viewership, according to them, is 500 times more, then technically the white people are still supporting a league full of black women. So Caitlin Clark has gotten white people to support black people. Black people ain't supporting black people. It's white people that's supporting the black league. So what are y'all even saying? Like, you try to act like white people have privilege and all this stuff. It's really white people are the ones they're giving y'all an opportunity. Really, y'all have the privilege because you ain't done nothing. Roll the clip.
Everyone wins.
Because they're always triggered. They're just find a subject. What's the trigger du jour? It's like, you know, it's like the special at Denny's. Give me the special of the day.
Yeah.
Look, I loved her answer. I have no idea, barely know what a basketball looks like, but I loved her answer because she's not letting these folks who want to turn her into some sort of racial avatar define her. She defines herself, and she said, I am very good at tuning out the noise. She wants to play basketball, which she obviously does in an excellent, excellent manner, has broken all sorts of records. If anybody else was recognizing pioneers of their industry who toiled away for 25 years with basically little recognition and very little pay, and she is acknowledging them, seeing them, respecting them, and thanking them, where is the controversy?
Here's the controversy. Here's the controversy. It's because she's making it about race. If she said, look at the pioneers that started this, Lisa Leslie, and she go down the list of all these women, okay, that's fine. But when you start saying the black women built this, well, name a black woman that own any of the WNBA teams. The people, name a black woman that's in the NBA. The NBA subsidizes the WNBA. So when you want to give your hat off to people that built the league, you should be talking about the NBA players. And you're talking about the white folks that invested in the WNBA. They have a part of that too. So how about you thank the white people who invested in the black players congruently? This is why we have a problem with it, because it's getting weird. These black women aren't the only thing that have the WNBA make the NBA possible. It also got a lot to do with the white people who invested in it too. And they continue to invest in a dying sport. Roll the clip.
I was going to say is that she repeatedly recognizes that the thing I feel is unfair for Caitlin Clark is she's always saddled with these issues that she doesn't have herself. This is not, you know, they pitted Angel Reese against her, and it was always coming down to race and all these things. Caitlin Clark said in that interview, I earned everything I got. Her stats speak for themselves. She broke records that were 50 years old. But recognizing that this was built on the shoulders of people, a game she admired, players and teammates that she loved. And the most important thing she said, actually, is that brands and companies have to invest in those players too, and she needs to keep making them aware of that.
But
that's where it's not translated.
What is wrong with acknowledging white privilege, though? I don't see what's wrong.
Stop. She didn't say that, but if she is saying that, it's crazy. That brands have to invest in these players too. Brands don't invest in you because you white or black. Brands invest in you because you can make them money. Michael Jordan wasn't a part of Nike because he was a black man from the inner city or something. Michael Jordan could move tickets, and they saw the value in him moving forward, and they became $1 billion company by selling Michael Jordans. That's what they saw in him. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese got contracts that none of these black girls got either. If you're talking about a league full of black girls, there's a lot of black girls that make money, and a lot of them don't. So, you know, everybody should make money? No, the people that can sell tickets make money. The people that can sell tennis shoes make money. Every black person in the NBA don't have a contract like LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal them did back when they played. It's because they were good. And somebody said, if I put this man on a commercial and he has a tennis shoe, we're going to sell $1 billion worth of tennis shoes. It don't make sense to say, oh, yeah, because these black lesbians they started out in the sport and they were the first ones to play, that you should give all of your advertising dollars to them too because they started the thing. Many people don't even know who these women are. They missing layups and all kind of stuff. Ain't nobody finna put their advertising on you and you can't make a layup. Roll it.
Wrong with that?
I don't know.
I don't think they understand privilege,
It's
and
reality.
Which is why they.
It's a true story in this country and many other countries.
People
that when
see it
you are
as, but people
Caucasian,
aren't
you
willing
have
to admit that.
advantages of where you live. You know, who you can marry, even it used to be even against
the education you get or don't
But
get.
I do think that, to Sarah's point, people kind of keep putting her into this box to fight a battle that she didn't even sign up to. Every time she's given a microphone, she's a great spokesperson for the WNBA. She raises up other players. She's always, like, bringing other women up around her. It's not just about her. She acknowledges the people who came before her, and it's like, again and again, it feels like the media wants her to have some fight that she's not going to be in.
Someone wants her to mess up in her answers,
and she's
in the right place on this. And I think it's important
some
to
of these
acknowledge.
white people need to get a grip on themselves.
Can somebody answer this in the chat? Like, why do white people hate themselves so much? It's kind of like the survivor's remorse. I think that's what they call it, survivor's remorse, or something like that, where you're on the battlefield and you're the only one that survived in your platoon, and you feel bad about that. And I know black people feel that way as well, because when you make it out the hood and you are very successful, you feel bad because when you go back to where you grew up at, everybody poor and struggling. And you're like, I made it out, but a lot of y'all ain't got nothing, ain't got a pot to pee in and nowhere to throw it. And so then you start feeling bad, like, dang, did I leave my people behind? Did I leave my family behind? Like, dang, I'm a sellout. You start feeling like I escaped the struggle. They still got to struggle. So when I go home and we at the barbecue, I got enough money to do the things that I want to do in life. And some of my family members still struggling to pay their light bill. And then you feel guilty about it. And I think that's what happens with white women or white people that do very well and they got a very established family. They start feeling bad for black people and others. And that's not what you should do. What you should do is use where you're at, no matter what color you are, to uplift anybody that's in a position that needs you. And white people got to stop feeling bad for accomplishments that white people have done. Nobody shames themselves more than white people do. It's like, hey man, y'all got a good track record. Yeah, there are some things that went south here and there, but you did develop and create the greatest document other than the Bible, which is the Constitution of the United States of America. That's a pretty good accomplishment. And you did kind of take a step out there and tell the British that we're done. We're not, make our own country. Went out on our own. Everybody thought this probably would fail, and we're the most prosperous country in the shortest period of time. That's something to be proud about. The fact that we were one of the first countries to abolish slavery and move past that to the point that we're at today, white people have something to pat themselves on the back for. When a black person accomplishes something, they don't mind patting themselves on the backs and saying, look at us, watch us roar, look, we dominating this. White people feel like they can't say, look at what we've done. I don't understand why. Pat yourself on the back every now and again. God dang, I'm happy to be in a country full of white people. I'm happy to live around these white people right here. I live around nothing but white people, and I ain't got no shame in it. Safe. Ain't no gang banging around here. Ain't nobody trying to rob your stuff and do all that. You could say it's socio-economical too, but let's be real. Let's be real. Show me a place where it's 80% black, and I'll show you a place where it's crime and drama and chaos. Now, there are places where white people live that are drama and chaos too, because poverty really is the component there. But somehow black people go beyond poverty. Even in good areas, black people still find a way to do something crazy with it. And I don't think it's just black people. I think it's a culture that people adopt. And they shame people like me. Because I say, no, I want to be the greatest I can be. I want to make the most money that I can make. I want to be the greatest Christian I can be. I want to be the greatest father. All that. I want to be the greatest I can be, man. I'm not trying to be this for black folks, for white folks, for conservatives and nothing. I'm trying to do what God has called me to do and maximize the potential he put in me. That's all I'm trying to do. And some of y'all rather be black than be right. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it.